here forward. What do you think of that?
Yeah, well, first of all, there's a big difference, I think, between what happened with the Boston and the Knicks. Because I thought the Boston Celtics in Game 1, they handed that over to the New York Knicks with their shot selection in the fourth quarter. This is a totally different situation.
Understood.
I don't think that was the Knicks' problem. This was the case of one player putting on one of the greatest fourth quarter shooting displays we've ever seen in an NBA playoff game. And look, Aaron Nesmith 4 years ago was a 27% three. He was the single guy like keeping that door from being slammed shut. It's like he had his arm in the door with a bunch of dudes trying to slam it on his wrist, and he was holding it down by himself to give Tyrese Halliburton an opportunity to make that incredible shot to force overtime. The great awareness that he had time to get out there and get off a clean shot. I mean, that's just calm in the moment. Obviously, that's a very fortuitous bounce, but they get to overtime, and then the Indiana Pacers knew they had more basketball to play. They executed better in overtime than the New York Knicks.
I mean, with respect, I don't know. That's coach speak. Look at the film. Like, you're going to look at these stats, Legs, and you're going to see you had a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter in your home floor. You shot 51% from the game, and you lost. I think the thing that will be frightening if I'm New York is that this Indiana team is really hard to kill. And they are resilient. They're going to make shots, and they can make them at multiple different levels. And they've been on this stage. Like, they show a complete absence of fear. That will be my concern moving forward. Do you share that sentiment that this Indiana team is just not going to go away?
No doubt. And look, I've been telling people that I think the Indiana Pacers are one of the hardest teams in the NBA to guard, and I thought they had a great chance to win this series and play in the NBA Finals. That's what I've been saying really over the last 4 or 5 days, in large part to how good their offense is, how relentless it is, the pace with which they play. It allows them to never be out of a game. Now, look, we're putting up this graphic 17 with 6.5 to go. I think up 14 under 3 minutes to go is even more impactful to show you now the firepower that this team has. And if there ever was
now we're going to play a free throw game. We're going to play a free throw game, Joe. That's what we about to do. Yeah. Hey, I ain't going to try to get it all back in one shot. I'm going to see how y'all handle pressure. And, boy, this was an unbelievable ball game. Pascal Siakam, 17 points. Aaron Nesmith, 30 points. Miles Turner, 14 points. Nembhard, 15 points. Tyrese Halliburton was sensational tonight. 31 points, 11 assists. They won this game because they took care of the basketball.
Yep.
They had 7 turnovers in an overtime game total. So 4 quarters of basketball plus 5 minutes of overtime, they had 7 turnovers. Jalen Brunson alone had 7 turnovers, and that was the difference in the ball game. They've got to do a better job of making those free throws also. They was 28 of 40. So in other words, they got to the line 40 times, and they only cashed 28 times. Joe, you watched this game, and I know, look, and I'm like, damn, y'all got to stop something, Indiana, because I thought I was going to be able to have to come on the show, Joe, and say, Joe, they got to stop something. Yeah. They can't let Cat go get 35, let Brunson get 43, let this guy do this. They say, oh, well, watch us. And when they needed to make plays late in the ball game, they made every play. They made every right pass. What is it that the Pacers did in the last 2 minutes of the game and in overtime that they were able to go on the road, be down as many as 14 late in the fourth, down by 9 with like 2 minutes to go, and win this ball game?
Oh man, what a hell of a game! Hell of a game. I thought the Pacers have done what they've done pretty much this entire postseason. When they've been counted out, you know, they got guys who step up, still playing desperation basketball down the stretch. I think Naismith was the player of the game to me, man. The way
I do too.
The way they were down, he was still playing hard, fierce, and he shot 8 for 9 from 3.
I don't know. 4 from the free throw line.
Yeah, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 8 for 9 from 3. I'm not sure you're going to count on that every night, but tonight he was special, and he gave them that lift that they needed. But they got contributions from some of everybody. Look at their bench. T.J. McConnell come in, and you don't get no drop-off. Like, he's not going to hurt you. He's going to help you in every facet of the game. And I thought, man, they were just relentless down the stretch. Even to start the game, I thought they came out ready to play. They pick. I didn't know if we was watching the NBA or the NCAA, the way them dudes picking up full court. They picking up full court the entire game. And I guess their whole idea is to wear Brunson down, to wear the Knicks down, because you know they're only going to play about 7 guys. And Indiana throwing about 8, 9 dudes at you who are all dogs, and they coming in, they getting all the scraps. It was a beautiful game tonight. Man, I know everybody in New York is pissed.
They sick. They sick. I hadn't seen the Knicks fans this sick maybe since Ice Trey did what he did.
Yeah, it got quiet in there tonight, man. It got quiet in there. When
You could hear Rat peeing on cotton.
Hello.
I'm talking about the bell of it. That's how quiet it was, Joe. I was like, good God about it.
Hey, and then when Halliburton hit the ridge of the choke joint at the end,
Yeah.
and he was still on the line, I said, oh yeah, he know he got to come out and play hard now. He done had a little early celebration.
Yeah, he had, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, they got this one. And I came here, I'm celebrating Ash like and Ash and Shelley like it was a 2-point. I say 2, no, he's behind the line. They said, no, his foot was on. I said, this man don't pull the KD on us.
Hey, but look how they gained their composure in that overtime and still came out and put their mark on the game, bro. Hey, look, we might look up Uncle. This Indiana team could be in the finals. This is what I was talking about.
Yes.
Because they're so unpredictable, because they got guys like Nate Smith, who you may not count on to give you 30 every night, but he won you a game tonight. So the next night, it may be somebody else. It could be Pascal Siakam. You know what I mean? It could be somebody else. So they got a multitude of cats who are willing to step up, who take that challenge, and they competing at the highest level. I thought the Knicks played great. You know, Brunson and
you got 15 of 25 from Brunson, 43 points. You got 11 of 17 from Cat, 35 points, 12 rebounds. I mean, come on now. You got 16 from OG. You got 8. You got 16 from Mikal Bridges. You got 8, 13, and 7 with a steal from Josh Hart. I mean, well, damn.
They played
yes.
win. They played well enough to win. They had the game in their hands, but it seemed like late down the stretch, they was having these mental lapses where they were almost turning the ball over, but they kept getting away. I'm like, hold on, Indiana gonna make them pay for this, and they just kept throwing these little lackadaisical passes and end up getting these turnovers. Man, Indiana is relentless, bro. They are a blue-collar team, and they ready. They ready for the moment.
And we've seen this from them in 3 games down the stretch against Cleveland. They find ways, just like we saw the Knicks do this down the stretch against Detroit. We saw them do this down the stretch against Boston. In clutch moments, they find ways to win. They make the right pass. They hit the big shot. They do everything right. They get steals. They play passing lanes. I mean, look, both teams, I was like, Jalen Brunson was 15 of 25. Cat was 11 of 17. But Knicks, this is what y'all known for. Y'all known for defense. Y'all let Tyrese Halliburton go 12 of 23. Y'all let Nembhard go 6 of 10. Y'all let Miles Turner go 6 of 11. Aaron Naismith missed 4 shots. He was 9 of 13, 8 of 9 from the 3. The only guy that really shot less than 50% that played heavy minutes was really Pascal Siakam.
Yeah.
7 of 16. Other than that, they shot 51% from the floor. Now, this is what, look, we know Indiana can play defense, and they played it really good down the stretch. But they're a team that want to get it out the net or get it off the rim. But they want to push. They'll give you a basket to get a quicker basket.
Because they want the tempo.
They want tempo. They know, ooh, this is easy. This is easy. And the next thing you know, you in a track meet and they Usain Bolt and you not.
Yeah, because they're gonna give you some easy with some good looks that's gonna seduce you into playing that style of play. And next thing you know, look, we got a 138, 135 point game. This is what the Pacers want. They don't think you can with this pace.
Knicks, this is not the pace the Knicks want to play at or need to play at. Look, you got to slow this tempo down. I mean, and you got 69 points at the half. That's right up the Pacers' alley. They want a 65, 75 halftime pace.
It was right.
I'm like, well, damn, y'all ain't gonna call no foul?
Right. Hey, this playoff basketball. Hey, another thing I will say, because Indiana's so deep, and remember, I've always talked about they got at least 6 guys who average double figures in the playoffs.
Yep.
This doesn't surprise me that Nate Smith had a game like this. What I was really concerned about the Knicks was down the stretch. You see how them shots kept coming up short?
Yeah, the legs gone.
Yeah, them legs gone because you done played at this tempo that you ain't necessarily accustomed to playing at every night. In Indiana, this is what they do because they don't really have guys who playing 45, 42 minutes a night. So this was an up and down game, and you know, in favor of the Pacers And wow, it didn't disappoint, man. When he hit that shot, I was like, oh my God.
But I said, I was like, man, hey, when it hit and went straight up in there, I said, watch this thing go in. I was like, yeah, Joe, I said, watch this thing go in. I told Shelly, I said, Shelly, watch this go in. And she started screaming because I was like, oh my goodness. There's a difference. Walking on the treadmill for 45 minutes versus jogging or sprinting on the treadmill for 45 minutes. And you see, the Pacers are used to sprinting on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So you sprint for 45 versus a team that, I exercise, I get my exercise in, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I tell people, like, look, you can do lift weights and then you can do cardio. But when you combine the two, that's when you can see somebody cardio capacity.
Yeah.
Because I'm forcing you to use your strength, your muscles, and the other muscle, that heart.
Yeah.
So if you notice, sometimes you get guys that are really strong, and you can find someone that's really good at cardio. But when I combine the two, now, like, oh damn.
Yeah.
And that's what the Pacers want you to do. They want you to get up and down. They want you to try to, oh man, we about to get 130. We about to get 140.
Hey, man.
We've seen the Knicks, we've seen the Pacers a couple of times this year get 140, get 150 points in regulation. You got to be careful playing at their tempo, playing at their pace. I thought this game, look, if somebody told you, if you're a Knicks fan and somebody said, hey, Brunson's going to shoot 25 times, he's going to make 15 of them, he's going to have 43 points. Cat's going to have 35 and 12. You're like, well, we won the game.
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
won the game.
Absolutely.
That's what you think. If you're two big guns and they fire and they go off and they're efficient while they're doing it. Now, if Brunson had 43 points and it took him 32 shots to get it, I ain't impressed with that. If Cat had 35 and it took him 25 shots to get it, I ain't impressed with that. It took Cat 17 shots to get 35 points. It took Brunson 25 shots to get 43. They shot 51% from the floor, but they gave up 51% from the floor.
Yeah,
They gave up 41% from the three-point line. Well, you ask, and you didn't turn them over like you did Boston. You didn't turn them over like you did Detroit. Now, they got really good ball handlers. Halliburton's going to have the ball in his hand, and he's not a turnover guy.
Nope.
McConnell comes in, he's not a turnover guy. The thing I like about McConnell, he knows who and what he is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not Shea Gilgeous. I'm not Luka. I'm not one of these guys. Hey, I don't need to be fancy all this between my legs and behind my back and herky-jerky stuff. This is who I am.
I'm effective, though. I'm going to get it done. I'm effective, and I'm going to get it done. And I promise you, wherever we at, I'm going to take us to another.
Em đuổi về. Vớ vẩn chỗ người ta làm việc không phải chỗ chơi. Em chửi hơn con nữa. Mọi người ơi, bây giờ mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn làm cái gì được nhỉ? Bây giờ mình sẽ hướng bạn đi kia. Hoa cầm túc cầu ấy. Tú cầu gì gì nhớ rằng tình này lắc lên như này. Chị Lan Anh tuổi dưới sang mà.
Cái gì?
Đây. Thiếu Len làm chậu. Với lại nhị hoa Hẳn Ngọc ta để nè cơ. Xấu thế để rồi.
Cái túi cái quy A này hơn nhiều.
Cái túi của tao sang nơi hắn ta lấy á. Hắn đang lấy quay như của mình đó.
Không, mình đang kêu là anh yêu mình, anh yêu rồi, anh yêu một cười.
Gì vậy?
Anh yêu cuộc đời anh không rồi. Anh yêu một cười.